Now let's get to the print dialog box at last. All right, go ahead and choose print. And the print dialog box comes up. Now, there's one thing in this dialog box that's going to seem really kind of minor and kind of like a little thing. But at the end of the day, it's all about the little things. But in CS3, they added this little button down here. It looks like it doesn't do much, but it saves you a whole trip to page setup because you can switch from portrait to landscape orientation in just one click, which we were able to do there. You choose your printer up here, and you can choose whether you want to center the image or not on the page, which I imagine you probably do. This is where you choose how large your image appears on the page. If you want the whole thing, you can see I have a little clipped off. So if you choose scale to fit media, of course, it fits onto the paper. And all right, but the real meat of this and what we really need to learn is what's over here. First off, let's look at the color management. Up top here where it says color handling, and by default, the choice is printer manages color. So if this is the first time you're opening the printer dialog box and messing with things, it's probably set to printer manages color. Now, I got to tell you, 2 years ago, I would say you cannot let your printer manage color. But today, the printers have gotten so good that you can leave it at printer manages color and get decent results. Not killer results, not the kind of results you're dying for, but they won't look bad. And a lot of people choose that. However, if you're willing to go that extra step, because if you're taking this course, you're serious about this, so you are willing to go that extra step, and in fact, you already have. By going and downloading and installing that ICC color profile that you did earlier, you'll be able to now use that color profile by letting Photoshop manage your color. So from this here, from this pop-up menu here, choose Photoshop manages colors. Now, where it says printer profile, what you want to choose here is the exact paper that you downloaded from that website. It's installed, so scroll down till you see it. Here's the regular 3800 papers, like the Premium Luster, which is a very popular one that I use, but that's for the Stylus Pro R800 model. I want the one that I just installed from that website, which is the Stylus Pro 3800 for the Exhibition fiber paper. And although this is the 2880 DPI version, Pixel Genius says right on their site it works just fine for the 1440, either one. So whether you print it 1440 or 2880, it works for either one. But by choosing this, you've now chosen the exact paper that you're going to print on and the exact printer you're going to print on. So you actually choose your printer over here, but here you choose the paper ICC color profile. That's all you have to do. And you don't have to do this every time. Once you've installed the ICC profile, it will always appear right here so you know right where it's at. Now, next is the rendering intent. This is really the last big choice you have to make because you're going to leave black point compensation on. So you have to choose, which do you want? Do you want perceptual, saturation, relative colorimetric, or absolute colorimetric? All right, well, this is where it gets sticky because if you go onto the web, you will see people arguing in favor of either perceptual or relative colorimetric. You don't really see anybody talking about so much about saturation or absolute. So they argue these two back and forth, which is right, and nobody can come to a consensus. But everybody thinks they're right about it. So here's what I tell you what to do. What I recommend to do is this. Print a test print. Print one time perceptual, one time relative colorimetric. And by the way, make sure that when you're back in Photoshop, you write on the print perceptual and then print it for perceptual and then write colorimetric on the second one and put them side by side. And you will know instantly which one looks best for your particular printer. So rather than getting drawn into the arguments and thinking you're using the right one, why not just do a test print and see? It will take two separate prints. All right. I usually use relative colorimetric for my Epsons, and it seems to work well. All right. Once you've gotten that far, you have a little bit more to do. All right. So you go ahead and hit print, and you're going to get to your printer's dialog box. All right. Now, I've got the Epson R800 hooked up here. So we're going to expand this. And what you want to do is you want to go to your print settings. And you want to choose the type of paper that you want. And in this case, we're going to use the Premium Luster photo paper as our, it's okay to use that for the paper that we're using. we're going to choose advanced and make sure we've set this to best photo. I turn high speed off. I turn gloss optimizer off. So those are the settings that I use when I'm using the Epson Exhibition fiber paper, or if I'm using the premium luster paper. Both seem to work fairly well set to premium luster photo paper. And make sure that you choose what's really important here is you choose the correct media type and you choose the right kind of, that you're choosing the best photo quality. All right, there's one more change. Then you're going to go to color management. You're going to turn the color adjustment off. It is on by default. It will say color controls. You want to go and turn off this. So basically, you're letting Photoshop manage the entire color. You don't want two things trying to manage your color, right? So turn it to off. Those are the only two things you have to do in the print dialog box next. Now, if you're working on a Windows PC, it's going to look slightly different in Windows XP and slightly different in Windows Vista. But it's the same controls done the same way. Don't let the fact that the dialog box looks a little different. You still have to turn off the color, the color management, and you still have to choose your media type, your best quality, and turn off high speed. Then all you have to do is hit print and sit back and wait for your print to print. And now, what happens if your print doesn't exactly match? You've done all these things. You've got the ICC color profile. You profiled your monitor. What do you do next? Well, we'll find out that in the next segment.